Okay, here we are. A little bit closer to the water now. So this is going to be in the DEFTAC section as well. And this is what I would call pre-clinch, where both arms are touching each other briefly before actually one is encompassed and the neck or the body is encompassed. So I think some of you will recognize the principles and tactics behind these techniques. Some of you will be familiar with it. And basically, the simulation is that my hands are in this position to illustrate the principles that I want to show. Okay, one is palm up and one is palm down. This hand is on the outside of my opponent's right hand. This hand is on the inside of my opponent's right hand. All right? So many things could happen from here, all right, including striking. But the basic premise is that the idea is that this is going to be a close range use of the finger jab to the eyes. And it doesn't always have to be done fast. In fact, my opinion on the finger jab or finger thrust is that at longer range, where you do it fast and push step in and thrust in with your fingers, that it's kind of dangerous for the person throwing the strike and needs high accuracy. Okay, dangerous in the sense of hitting their head with your fingers. All right, but then again, flicking movements done fast, I think, are pretty appropriate because you really won't hurt yourself if you hit their head. Okay. Anyway, this is close range tactics. Okay, pre-clinch. What some in wrestling may call hand play or hand work, right? Before it gets into forearms and shoulders and necks and bodies and all those kind of things. So again, so the idea is that this hand is on top and this hand is underneath. It's this relationship, all right? So the idea is that to get the finger jab in, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn to produce an angle. I'm going to jam down his arm, and then I'm going to clear his other arm out of the way and poke up into the eye this way. Okay, so that's called a sliding lever. I'm pinning and sliding in and thrusting into the eye at the same time. Okay, this could be into the throat as well. All right, okay. The other one is on the bottom side of his top hand. Okay, and this sliding lever is done in the opposite way, to where it raises up at an angle and penetrates this way. So it's an upward sliding lever, okay? And this one is a downward sliding lever. And I'm starting in these opposite positions to show you how this twisting movement adds to the effectiveness of what you're trying to do. It adds deflective and pinning quality, all right? Okay, so you can see angles. You can see the triangle here, right? Which relates to just almost everything we did, including the wedge guard position and the ground fighting that we just did, all right? And then this one, you can see the angle again, okay? You can see clearly that it's angulation, all right? All right, now, then of course, the counters to those movements, for you being on the other side of the coin, is the opposite of each other. So if his hand is on top of my hand and begins to force it down, all right, at the very beginning of his movement, that is my counter, all right, aggressive counter. If his hand is underneath this one and begins to go up high, okay, this is the counter to that movement. So it's the exact opposite. But again, that threshold of opportunity doesn't last too long, all right? And so in which case now, we will call that during, okay? We'll call that during. In regards to preventing the clinch before, preventing the clinch before is you controlling distance, having great footwork, and good strikes, okay? That's your main anti-clinch or anti-takedown, all right? However, sometimes you miss the opportunity. So anyway, back to this one. So what would be the after then? Okay, a good after one that I like is using the shoulder. So if for instance I'm the initiator of this movement and he begins to counter my movement, that I basically turn and step and crash with my shoulder and do a hammer fist to the groin, back to the head, and bang, bang, bang. Okay? So his counter to the movement again could be, it could be a few different things, all right? When his hand is on the top, he may be scooping out your hand and encompassing it this way. When his hand is on the bottom, he may be encompassing it this way. Or simply on the top, pulling it down. Or simply on the bottom, pulling it down. All right? So in either case, a good way to train it is that once he begins to counter you, this is just one way, by the way, we'll be getting into some others, is that you shoulder. You hit to the groin, hit to the face, and then do whatever else you want, all right? Well, not necessarily what you want, but whatever happens, okay? Okay, so then again, the idea is that shoulder, hit, head, elbow, grab knee, okay? And then the same thing on the other side, all right? Here, okay? It begins